let's get your pencil and paper out. It's time for the obligatory pregame show.
It's time for the obligatory pregame show.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Not bad.
I need a beer.
Yeah, me too. We're the obligatory PSU pregame show. Thanks for joining us. And you'll probably turn it off pretty quick now. Thunderstorms. Big ones.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Like everything else in 2020, it got up.
It did. How many is this?
This is number 6, technically,
Nonsense.
actually.
Goodness gracious.
Season 7. Can you believe it? Hit it. Same shit, different day. Kent State. We can't possibly this one up. Season 10, why don't you take it?
I can't believe I'm saying this. You're about to join us in the 10th season of the obligatory PSU pregame show. Let's go.
All right, hell, we did 9 of these things. Why not one more? And this time, let's go win a damn national championship at the end of it. Welcome, everybody, to the 10th season of the obligatory PSU pregame show. We're here at Happy Valley Live. Not open yet, but it will be soon. Formerly the We Are In State College, in case you're wondering about the shows we did at the end of last season. This is going to be, boys, the spot to come after a Penn State football game, come watch a road game, or anytime. It's really coming together. I can't wait to, in a few weeks, show everybody. We're going to take a little tour around the place and just show off that it is the Penn Statiest place on earth. I'm your fake host, Chris Buchignani. You already met the beloved campus icon himself, Mike The Mailman. How you doing, man?
I've never had a bad day. It's fun being here again. I love doing this show.
Brandon Noble is coaching up the Nordic Storm in the European football playoffs. So filling in for him, former Penn State offensive lineman Landon Tengwall.
How we doing? Year 2? Excited to be here, guys.
Welcome back, biggest content whore on the beat. Appreciate you.
You're damn right. Every interview I can get, I'm going to get it.
And last but not least, the heart of the show, Kevin Horne.
That segment, that montage is 10 years of broken dreams of James Franklin in one person's body, from being a nice, bright-eyed law student to this fat, old, disgusting curmudgeon. That was shocking to watch.
So you blame James Franklin for getting fat?
Yes, that's right. That's correct. Thank you.
Good.
He's getting out in front of it. The SMU and the Boise fans called us all fat in the comments section last year. Leave your comments here on the For the Blog YouTube channel.
We're sponsored by a bar and a brewery and a Bloody Mary. What do you expect? Like this is what we consume, the products that sponsor us. What do you expect?
Yes, sir. So we're having fun here, boys. I thought we could open the show just talking a little bit about how great it is to be here at Ground Zero of Penn State football before a season like the one we all hope is about to unfold. Mike, age before beauty. You have seniority here. You've been around for more Penn State football seasons than any of us.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts about what's going on just around town, the vibe here in Happy Valley.
I think you really can feel around town. Everyone's pumped up. For
You
this
really
stuff.
can.
And
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's good. And I think it's nice to have positivity all around the town. And everyone's upbeat. And then the press come out with us ranked number 2 in the nation. That's really added a little burn to the fire. It really helped us out. So we'll see what happens.
It's the earlier start to the season is interesting, right? So we're recording this. It's right at the heart of move-in weekend. Yeah, and so we're seeing move-in weekend is a special thing in itself. You have people going away from home for the first time and their eyes are wide, or people who haven't seen their friends in 3 months, waiting in line for the bars. There's tons of energy. And you don't have to wait a weekend of nothing for the first game. You used to have to wait a weekend or two to get into that first game. No, it's coming in right away. Yeah. So there's not even a moment to think or blink. And yeah, I mean, it's moving weekend's already exciting. It's the line leap day, bar court. You can't get into a bar in town. You can still get into Anti-Fragile. They don't participate. So go there. But yeah, palpable energy around town. That's partially because the students are back. I don't know if it's necessarily because of Nevada, but certainly as the week goes on and as you're watching this, I'm sure we'll reach the apex of excitement here in town.
Yeah, I don't think since I've been here, since 2021, hasn't even been close to having this feeling preseason. I'm excited. I feel like it's all there for the taking, and to experience a possible national championship. James Franklin, take us home, baby.
Well, since we last saw you, you are now a Penn State grad,
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Although I guess you were on the Blue White show as well, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
okay, technically. But
now-
you are now in the heart of making the transition from student to townie, coming in at a good time.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, I mean, you said you haven't experienced anything like this. It's been a long time since the hype around the Penn State football season, specifically on the national level, has matched up what we've seen. Mike, you talked about the number 2 ranking. I mean, at this point, you and I were talking about it before we started shooting land, and we've been spending so much time talking about this team. We're just ready to kick it off and play some football. But it feels like every angle you can possibly come at analysis of this season has been covered by somebody, most of the time you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's national championship or bust. I mean, where we sit, once you
Careful saying that around this crew, by the way.
Once you hire Jim Knowles, James Franklin and company signed themselves up for, if you do not make it to the national championship, which is one more advancement than you had last year, I wouldn't actually call it a bust if we went back to, let's say, the Final Four, but it would be a disappointment. I mean, with what you return, and you look around college football, there's no real juggernaut. I mean, every single year you look around and there's always that Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama, and it's like they look unbeatable. Like they have the whole entire NFL roster. ESPN just came out and said that there was a NFL scout that was at Penn State's practice that said a minimum of 11 guys they're looking at that they think are draftable on this team, maybe even more. The most Penn State has ever had is 10 in one draft. All the pieces are there. Best coaching staff in college football, one of the more veteran teams, all the talent, great offensive line, which is unusual for Penn State in recent memory.
And a lot of depth, too. They said they're talking about the depth this year.
Here we go.
And that really has been helpful, too. So we'll see.
What's interesting about this year that makes it a little bit unique in the buildup is for the past however many years, you have at least a Pitt or a West Virginia or an Auburn sort of make out the non-conference. So like right away, week 1, okay, we got to get ready for Auburn. Week 1, we got to get ready for West Virginia. Not so this year. We essentially have a month of just like enjoying it, seeing who's stepping up to the plate, maybe a wide receiver that can catch a ball or two. Really, I mean, it's preseason into Oregon, and we've not had that luxury or annoyance, depending on your perspective. We have not had the luxury of not having to worry about a game until October, or the end of September, I guess, in the case of Oregon. So that's actually an interesting, you get to get acclimated a little bit, have some fun at those first 3 games. First 2 of the first 3 games, 3:30 games, Chris. So the tailgating lots will be popping more than they usually are for the non-conference. I'm excited for it.
So that's a question I have for you guys, and I think you hit on it, Kev. Basically all of September, leading up to that whiteout against Oregon, for Penn State, is just going to be a chance to celebrate everything that makes it great to be a Penn Stater and a Penn State football fan, which is really what this show is all about. If you're coming here for hard-hitting analysis, I don't know what to tell you. But if you want the vibe of what it is to be here in Happy Valley, as Penn State's getting ready to kick it off, I don't know that you're going to get much better as the climate and the landscape of college football is changing. When you get this close to the season, and a season like this, where you're going to be able to watch a team of all these guys who could have gone to the NFL, but instead they came back, and you're talking about it, Kev, 3:30 kickoffs for these games against teams you know you're going to beat, so you're just here for the love of it. Is it saving college football for you this time of year, even as everything is so different from where it was before?
I think we got to give NIL a little thanks for bringing this team back. If we did not have NIL,
that's right.
I think Drew Adler's probably gone. I think both running backs could be gone. I mean, a lot of people are not back here if we do not have NIL. So there's the plus side to it. Yeah, I mean, in recent memory, I think we all knew we were going to beat up on West Virginia, but it at least gave a little bit of excitement. You had that nervousness in your belly that there's a chance maybe we could get upset today out in West Virginia or in 2023. But, you get to go out there. I don't
think so.
No, Mike, not Mike. Not Mike at all. But, there was that idea. We know we were going to just put a smack. The last time that Villanova came to Penn State, we put one of their players on a stretcher. I think that's going to get similar, hopefully not actually, but that's going to get replicated pretty much. I feel good. You can get drunk in the lots. You can eat all the food you want, and you get to enjoy a smackdown. And then if you're a real Penn State freak, you get to just watch like the 3rd string offensive tackle, and we get to see what we have in 2026. So feels good.
And to your point, Chris, it's funny, all the complaining we do, or maybe I do, about all the ins and outs of college football. Landon, you're absolutely correct about the one great benefit for the fans of NIL is that we kept this team together and we're able to go out and get some wide receivers that might actually help us Without NIL, I don't think that happens. But sort of all as you're walking in, I'm thinking about walking into the stadium at 3:30 and the blue band takes the field. All of the bullshit, we'll say, just kind of washes away, and you're watching a bunch of guys in blue jerseys walk out, and it just forget about all the nonsense that's going on behind the scenes for an afternoon while you root for the guys.
Landon, as a football player, when you know you're going to come up against a lesser opponent, is it more difficult for the coach to get your team ready for that? I mean, to my mind, every game is a big game. Everyone talks about a big game in Ohio State, or I think every game is important, and I think every game is a big game. How does the coach just prepare?
Maybe I'll
like
let
that?
him talk to the team with that every game is a big game mentality.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
right. I know. I mean, James Franklin always, it's always want to know. He tries to keep you focused. But I'll tell you, in the pregame locker room, you're going around, and the conversation is how early can we get out of this game, the starters?
Oh, is that right?
It's like, how quickly can we get out by halftime is the real question. Because that's the worst part. If you have to go into halftime and come out and go back out on the field for like 2 drives, it's kind of a killer. If you can go in and you know the backups are coming in, it's such a good feeling. But yeah, you're just better. Everybody's bigger, faster, stronger than a team that was not only in the Mountain West, and we saw Boise State. It was just such a difference. But this Nevada team is in the absolute bottom of the Mountain West. I mean, they did not win a single game last year in the Mountain West.
Well, and the flip side of what we just talked about with the transfer portal is some teams are taking talent, some teams are getting robbed of talent, and that's the teams on the Nevada level. So this roster of the opponent we're going to face this week is just totally stripped clean.
You got to feel bad. So Nevada had this like offensive tackle that's like borderline first round talent, and Oregon just comes in. Here's $1 million and he's gone. I mean, I would hate to be a fan of a lower level
without
program.
even a sales commission to Nevada for developing that kid. But you talk about how soon can the starters get out of the game. Yeah. There's not too much you can take away from this game or any of the games coming up here in the non-con, except how is that depth, Mike, that you talked about, going to get developed over the first few weeks of the season, which is what we'll talk about in the next segment. But before we do, it is season 10. You're going to have to indulge us all season long. We are going to enjoy a little self-congratulatory nonsense. And so most of the first season, almost all of the first season of this stupid show is gone. It's lost to the ether. But there is one clip we were able to salvage to show our very, very humble beginnings, and we thought we'd share it with y'all. We'll be right back after that.
Let's get your pencil and paper out. It's time for the obligatory pregame show.
Stay. Good job, Kevin.
Okay, we saved the team and all those great memories in 2012 and everything, and the touchdown celebrations.
Bring those out here. We're talking nonsense right now.
Sure.
Look at this. I'm drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon because it was in the cooler out of a Man on the Moon cup, and it's delicious. Somebody's going to pick up.
Colonel Sanders is going
to tell us who is going to win the game this week. But the thing is the Colonel doesn't like
prognosticate.
That's it. Thank you. I knew one of you guys knew that.
Obligatory is brought to you by Gold Hen Bloody Mary Mix. Sweet, with a little bit of heat. Grab your bottle at goldhenllc.com today and use discount code MAILMAN for 10% off your order.
Mike, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You're roping you into this whole operation.
Yeah.
Did you notice? I intentionally chose this wardrobe. I'm wearing the same thing first show of season 10 as I wore first show of season 1.
I'm glad yours fit, Chris, because mine don't.
Fair enough.
Walking into show 2 of the first season.
Yeah.
I had no clue who you guys were. And after 10 seasons, I still don't know who you guys are.
I don't know who you are either.
Well, yeah, that's good. I do know one thing about you. You like James Franklin. I do know that.
Love.
Oh, love James Franklin. Okay, good.
And you know what James Franklin loves? This non-conference schedule.
Sure does.
We're here. We're at Happy Valley Live. Welcome back, everybody. No pipe. I couldn't bring the pipe because this is a no-smoking environment.
That's true.
But I do want to talk as seriously as we can, which is to say not very, about this non-conference schedule. Everybody knows Penn State's starting 3-0. everybody knows that the spotlight is going to be stolen by Ohio State, Texas in week 1, and that some of the other top teams in the country are going to face stiffer competition. But you've said on your channel that you think this non-conference schedule sets up perfectly for where Penn State's trying to go this year.
Yeah, I think you got a group of guys that have played together for 2 to 3 years now. They've all played in big games as high as the college football semifinal playoff game. And then you got, on offense, the depth I think is a little bit better. But on defense, you look at the defensive line, the safeties, there are some young guys. I mean, defensive end, we're going to have the 2 backups are going to be true freshmen probably. Mm-hmm. I feel really good coming from a player standpoint. I blacked out on my first play ever in college football. So it doesn't matter who you're playing against. Like, you need to get on-field experience where you were said, hey, I'm comfortable. I've played in front of, 105,000 fans, and I'm okay doing it. So your first game experience at Iowa doesn't make you just crap yourself. That's where I think we get some value out of these first 3 games. Let the wide receivers get some catches, but let these young guys actually get to experience playing college football.
Let me ask you a question I just thought of. You talked about playing in front of 100,000 people. They say one of the reasons why they like to do the scrimmages in Beaver Stadium and why they like to do something Blue-White Weekend, even as spring games are falling out of favor, is they want to give younger guys the experience of being in that stadium. It's just so big and in front of a crowd. How does that actually prepare you for the experience of playing real college football in front of a live crowd?
I don't think it's the same at all.
At all?
No, it doesn't. It does nothing for me. No,
all
nothing. Right. It's not even close to the same stakes. Yeah. It's not. I remember Rutgers 2021, the flu game, where like half of our team went out. That was my first experience. I was talking crap. We were in film that week, and I was like, this guy's 71 that's playing defensive end. He sucks. And everybody kind of like laugh or looking around. Bro, I get called up. I go in after like the second drive. Caden Wallace is like puking on the field in his helmet. I go in. I black out. 71 sheds me and makes a TFL. And I'm looking like the asshole because I go back and they're like, weren't you talking crap on him? And yeah. So needless to say, it doesn't mean anything. Guys are going to be nervous. Got to get the jitters out because especially we got to play 16, 17 games. Unfortunately, knock on wood, but injuries happen. Younger guys are going to have to play. If we can get them as much experience as possible, we're in a much better place.
I'm trying to think of last year, the 3 narratives coming out of the non-conference, so to say. Oh no, Abdul Carter's transition to defensive end is not going well. That ended up being totally wrong. Couldn't have been more wrong. Oh no, the wide receivers can't catch balls. Harrison Wallace and Amari Evans stink. That ended up being true, even more true ultimately as the season went on. And the third was the injury to the safety whose name I'm forgetting live on the air. KJ Winston. So one of those questions still exists this year, right? If these 3 new wide receivers that I presume will be 1, 2, and 3, in what order I'm not entirely sure, can they catch a football against the lowest opponent you can possibly have? If they can, we're already in a better position than we were last season. So yes, wide receiver is everyone's question mark going into the year. And although if they can get open against these bums, it really doesn't tell you a whole lot. It'll at least tell you that they're better than we were last year because we cannot get open against Bowling Green.
Very good point. Perfectly setting up the next question I wanted to ask you guys is coming out of this 3-game stretch of non-conference play where Penn State's going to go 3-0. What, other than wide receiver, which I agree, Kevin, is question number 1 with a bullet, what are some other questions that you would like to see answered about this football team by the time we get to that bye week before the whiteout?
The defense is not going to be challenged that much during the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And obviously Oregon will challenge them. So I think we got to see how sharp the defense is going to be early on. And I think that will prepare them for Oregon because they're going to need to be really sharp in that game. And
not just the starters, not just the depth, but how are these guys taking to the scheme?
Yeah.
Because all off season, if you have any kind of a social media account, you've been reassured by Ohio State fans that it takes half a decade for Jim Knowles to install his defense, apparently.
Oh, that's right.
But let's talk about that a little bit more, Landon. The caliber of competition is not great. It's going to provide some openings for these depth guys to get in and play. Who are some names and what are some things you're looking for on the defensive side of the ball that we can perhaps get some clarity in before we get to that bye week?
Yeah, I think the first thing is Amari Campbell, transfer from UNC, expected to be the starting Mike linebacker. We still don't know yet who's going to wear that green dot. That means you're calling the defense, and they will have Jim Knowles in their ear. Amari Campbell called the defense at UNC. It was not run well at all. I think they had like JMU put up like 70 points on them. But yeah,
that's a learning experience.
We'll call it that. I don't put it all on Amari Campbell by any stretch. So I think that's something to watch is can he call the defense? And like you said, Jim Knowles admitted it's a complex defense, but at the same time, it's his third time implementing this defense at a new school. He's starting to get a feel for what works, what doesn't, what is, really palpable. Like what's the appetite for what someone can digest in week 1, 2, and 3. So that's something I'm looking at. And then the young defensive line. I mean, I've talked about Chaz Coleman. My girlfriend has heard the name Chaz Coleman 150 times. And every time I say Chaz Coleman, she starts talking about Chaz from Wedding Crashers. When Will Ferrell plays the Chaz, he's like, Mom, where's the lasagna? That guy. And so anyways, I those guys, Yavin Kamaju, another freshman defensive end, I'm excited about those guys. See where they go. And then the safety depth is not all the way where it needs to be yet. King Mack decided to go to Alabama, comes back. What is that going to look like? Where is he going to play? I heard there's some competition for him, not only at strong safety, but also in that nickel cornerback role. As you guys know, we're running a 4-2-5. LBU will only be sporting 2 linebackers on the field. So a lot of questions there on defense as far as depth. But I think you look at that first string defense, it's up there. I mean, it's a little bit of a step back from last year, but, still in a good way.
So 2 questions for you. Number one, how much do you think we can learn in these next 3 weeks to answer some of those questions before we get into prep for Oregon?
I mean, I think you can see just if the defense is confused or not. Lining up, adjusting. And I was on the sideline. I was at practice a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to Don DeLuca, and he was like, "Yeah, look, it's hard, but we're going against probably the most motiony, move people around offense that there is in college football against Andy Kotelnicki every single day. So I don't know if there's a better offense to consistently test a new defense because as a defender, you have rules. And when this guy moves here, it changes your rules. And so that when guys are moving around motiony, it tests all your different rules. And do you know where you need to be? So they're getting a lot of that in camp. But I think that's the main thing. We're not going to have the competition level. We're not going to know really, let's say, how good the depth on the defensive line is because they're going against guys that are going to be accountants in a year or two. But you can still get an idea of are people where they need to be, and is this, are guys thinking too much, or are they just playing football?
Biggest issue for Penn State offense or defense that you need answered before we get out of the non-conference?
Oh,
because I've got my answer. I'm just curious if you've got the same answer I do.
Gosh, I don't know. I would like to see a solidified QB2.
There it is.
Really?
Yep.
There we go. Yep. All right. I mean, look, I think coming into someone has to be QB2 on the depth chart coming into Nevada. It's probably going to be Ethan Grunkmeyer. But the whole talk of the spring ball was that Jackson Smolik outplayed Ethan Grunkmeyer. He's not as talented, a little more Sean Cliffordy. Where's that number 14 as well? Ethan Grunkmeyer is very talented arm, but we saw him, jitters against SMU, threw a pick, left the ball a little bit high, got tipped up. So I think that's going to be one of the more interesting storylines outside of the wide receivers and how can we get them involved early on and kind of build that rapport with Drew Aller. But then it's like, hey, do we have a legit QB2 in case something like Wisconsin, like last year, if that happens? I remember watching Booch pace back and forth as Bo Prabula came to the game. I thought he was going to have a coronary.
Well, Taquan Roberson's on his 4th school now. He's competing for the starting job at Buffalo. Not to go back to that Iowa game. But yeah, no, QB2 is important, not only for this year, hopefully not important for this year, but I want to see what he has. Are we going to need to buy a quarterback for next season to be in the top 10, or is he going to be the guy? Jackson Smolik is making some waves. He looks a little bit too much like Barry Manilow for me to trust him with an offense. But I do want to see if Grunkmeyer at least has it to the extent that, all right, we're not going to need to go buy someone, which James Franklin has never done. So that would be an interesting thing. Hopefully, he does not need to play a snap this year other than in blowouts.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Thank you. In the absence of Nordic Storm defensive coordinator Brendan Noble for bringing some analytical chops to this program, which will otherwise tell you that Jackson Smolik looks too much like Barry Manilow. Yeah. And I think we're just going to keep the nonsense rolling. So we're going to take a little break. And when we get back, we're going to have your visit to Media Day.
Oh,
so
that was fun.
In case you thought it couldn't get any worse, I guarantee you it can. We'll be right back.
Okay. It will.
Tim and Steve here from the Let's Talk Penn State podcast with a few fun facts about Nevada. Do the fight song.
First off, some alumni from Nevada. We have Lyle Overbay and Colin Kaepernick, not a controversial figure at all. A few other people from the state of Nevada: Harry Reid, Elvis Presley, Andre Agassi.
Did you know the first ever football game for Nevada was in 1896? The opposing team, a bunch of inmates from the Nevada State Prison. The inmates won.
Oh, better Penn State than State Penn, or as it turns out, Nevada. How about the Buttons? In the past, we've played NC State, who are also the Wolfpack. There's been a couple good ones, Cry Wolf and Wallop the Wolfpack. For my money, I like Wolf Smack. The actual button is Wolfpack Folds.
Like folding on the poker table, like in Reno. Nevada also plays for the biggest trophy in college football. It's called the Fremont Cannon. It weighs a quarter ton, it can fire, and the winner of the UNLV Nevada game gets to keep it and paint it their own colors. They repaint it every year.
Well, how about that? And how about this fight song, Tim? 2 thumbs up. I give it 3 big booms. Boom, boom. It is a good fight song.
Just like the cannon, we're booming at Beaver Stadium to start the year.
Go State, beat Wolfpack.
I didn't know how to use this.
How you feeling, Mike The Mailman?
I'm feeling great about this day and about the season.
Season number 10. You sick of doing this yet?
No, I never get sick of doing this.
That makes one of us. Let's do it.
Who's the best video game player on the team?
Probably Tony Rojas. I'm gonna go with Tony Rojas. Yeah, I recently saw his setup that he has, and it looks pretty legit.
I feel very good about me and Luke Reynolds' Warzone abilities. Just turn that camera over there to the right real quick. Right there. Yeah, 100%. It gets very great.
I heard Dom Rui's pretty good at Minecraft.
I'm so old. I'm old as heck, man. I don't play video games with none of these guys. I'm probably still playing Atari.
Voting for Tony Rojas. He's been a consensus choice of best video game player the last 2 years, actually. Everyone's been saying you are the best video game player on the team. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say I am.
I don't know anything about that, but I believe it. He talks a lot of trash in the meetings. I've never actually witnessed it.
Against anyone else on the team, we think you would be the smart money, right?
Yeah, okay. I definitely would. Yeah, I'm the best player on whatever video game.
They all talk trash about everything, so it's really hard to tell what's real and what's fake.
We play all together. It's usually Call of Duty or Fortnite, so shooting games.
Oh yeah.
But he does talk a lot of trash. I would hope he can back it up.
Oh, you're so brutally honest. It's so refreshing to hear that. Since you're the best video game player, who do you think is the best dancer on the team?
I'd probably say Zion Tracy.
Zion.
Zion Tracy. I was gonna say Zion Tracy.
I'm gonna go with Zion Tracy.
No, I'm actually a bad dancer.
You're bad?
I don't dance.
Zion Tracy.
I've heard his name a lot.
You might want to X7 to show you some dance moves.
You've been consensus choice of the best dancer on the team. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
What do you mean something like that?
No, yeah, that's definitely true. I ain't gonna lie.
He's from New York. What'd you expect?
Post-game, pre-game, locker room, you dance a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Zion Tracy's the best dancer. Tony Rojas, once again, repeat video game champion. And the linemen have the most personality.
By far.
Don't tell nobody, sir.
Yeah, don't tell me more.
Go State.
Yeah.
Random Number Generator is brought to you by the good folks at Antifragile Brewing Company. Antifragile is the official beer supplier fueling the obligatory pregame show. Antifragile brews incredible beer we all enjoy and recommend. And check out their Moody Culture Kombucha and fill up on Uncle John's Jawn's cheesesteaks. Check them out when you're in Happy Valley at 324 East Calder Way or anytime at antifragilebrew.com. And we're back. Happy Valley Live, obligatory PSU pregame show season 10. Our first random number generator segment of the year. We hope it's going to be one that actually ends in a national championship. We can feel pretty good about it. We are going to predict this stupid game we're playing this weekend. But more importantly, we're going to predict a regular season record and playoff outcome for our Nittany Lions. And because he's not here, I know he normally likes to go last.
Yeah, he does.
I'm just going to make Brandon Noble go first because we got him recorded. So here's Noble's answers to all the key questions.
10 years of obligatory. So I guess I wasn't getting out of this, even though I'm over here in Copenhagen, Denmark. So I figured in a very appropriate way I would do this while I was riding my bike. You may or may not be able to hear this because of the wind. So we always ride our bikes here, and it is always windy here, and the wind is always blowing in your face. I just got hit by bird shit. That's even better. Look at that. Just got shit on by a bird. That's good luck. So I don't know if we can use this or not, Chris, but here's my season prediction. We lose one game. It's to the Iowa Hawkeyes. We beat Oregon. Beat Ohio State. We go to Kinnick. We lose a tough one, which is about right. And if you're going to lose, that's the one, right? And it's good for us for a couple reasons. Number one, getting kicked in the teeth is always a good thing. It sucks to lose, but it's a good thing to have to overcome some adversity. And then the last part of that is it keeps Mike The Mailman from being correct about us being undefeated again. So those are positives as far as the season is concerned. We win a Big Ten championship. We go to the national championship. I'm sure we'll talk about what that means at some other time. And random number generator, since a bird just shit on me, 107-2, we win. We are. I just ran a red light. I think I'll get in trouble.
Good stuff. Appreciate Brandon recording that as they were in the midst of playoff prep. Fair to say I'm leaving you to the end.
Okay,
today.
thank you. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. We got to go out on an uber positive note.
That's right.
And you're the guy.
The last shall be first.
Let's talk about Nevada or Nevada. I'm going to call them Nevada because I know they don't like it. Tell me one interesting fact about this team Penn State will beat by 40 points.
Chubba Purdy, brother of Brock Purdy, was supposed to be the starter last year. Double groin tear in spring camp last year. Can't imagine that. Imagine double, if you tried to run the 40, that would probably happen to you. But imagine tearing both of your groins.
If I try to have a second kid, that'll happen.
So that's interesting. That's going to be the storyline. He's an athletic guy. Excited to see how that works out. Give me Penn State 56, Nevada 7. I guess they'll get in the end zone towards the end. We put in our fourth stringers.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but when you talk about a team that has been absolutely shellacked by the transfer portal, whatever talent was on that Nevada roster, and it was not much, they won 3 games, it's all been taken by higher level teams. And you look at it, they lost their leading passer, they lost their top 3 or 4 leading rushers, top 2 receivers, top tacklers, top sack leaders. There is, Landon, Kevin, not a player on this Nevada roster who defensively recorded an interception last season. They're all gone. Every pick is off the roster. Wow. And this was a team that finished last place in the Mountain West.
Well, I'll tell you, their head coach, Jeff Choate, he made a joke that 10 out of 11 of their starters on defense are gone. And he said maybe it's a good thing.
I thought, how could it get any worse? Right?
That's very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah, we talk about the best of the NIL is Penn State being able to keep guys in college for next year. This is the Nevada stuff's definitely the worst of NIL, where these Mountain West teams can't keep it together.
Yeah.
It's actually very sad. And it's already sad enough that they have to go to school in Reno, Nevada, which is probably the worst big city I've ever been in. So to have to deal with that and also be at the bottom of the Mountain West year in and year out. I mean, this is not Colin Kaepernick's, Mike's favorite NFL player of all time, not his Nevada Wolfpack anymore. No. Chris Alt, he's their coach, right? He's in the Hall of Fame.
It's not even Carson Strong's Nevada Wolfpack anymore.
No, they weren't even that good, but yeah. Chris Alt, he was like 30 years there. He's in the Hall of Fame, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
You know Chris.
Oh, yeah. I know that. So what's your prediction, right?
Well, you said every game's important. Is every game's important to you, Michael, because you're going to be spotting them 44 or 45 points.
Yeah.
Open up at 45.5. As we record, this is around 44. I expect you to get up to, I think it'll go back to 45 by kickoff. Penn State has covered every single spread in the James Franklin era when they're favored by 44 or more points.
So you think it is going to go back to 45 before kickoff?
Yes. That's just the way I see the money going.
Interesting. Okay, because I was going to go 52-7, but then that breaks that trend you just laid out.
Right. It's going to bounce between there. Those are actually
well.
How
about 52-0? We're not going to let them score. That's my prediction. Go randomly generate a score.
I don't know. 42-7.
Sounds good. So Mike the Mailman, just give me a number.
63-0.
Oh, you actually gave a score. This is great. 10 seasons. We're making progress. Wonderful. Okay, there. Yeah, we all picked Penn State to beat Nevada. I know that's what you were waiting for. Let's get into the actual meat of it now. What are the Nittany Lions going to make of a year where they are bringing back a ton of top-level talent? A lot of it from that blockbuster 2022 recruiting class. No quarterback, in terms of his pedigree as a recruit, has matched the hype of Drew Aller. No tandem of running backs has had a career in the blue and white like Nick and Katron since the great Franco Harris and Lydell Mitchell. As you mentioned, offensive line is getting better and better year over year since 2022. This is the best O-line Penn State maybe has had in a quarter century. We talk about defensively stars at every single level, probably 2 stars at every level of the defense, and a coaching staff that I think top to bottom matches anybody nationwide. And in the 2 places where you had vacancy, defensive coordinator and running backs coach, you go out and you poach Ohio State's national championship winning DC, and you bring in a running backs coach who has national championship experience under Urban Meyer at Ohio State and Florida, and also coach running backs at Texas. So you probably stayed level or upgraded anywhere that you had a vacancy. This is it. The pressure is on. And so I want you to talk a little bit about your expectations for the season. Give me a regular season record prediction and tell me how far is Penn State going to go in the playoffs. Landon, going back to you.
Yeah, I'll go 11-1. I think that the one loss is going to be to Ohio State in Columbus, just because we have not won in Columbus since 2011. Shout out Tom Bradley for getting that one down. Yeah. Tom Bradley was the last interim head coach to win in Columbus.
Let me ask you this. I know you're going to go do tailgate trivia. This is a great tailgate trivia question for during the season. How many times has Penn State won at the Horseshoe since we began competition in the Big Ten in 1993?
Go 3.
Wrong. Do you know?
2?
Yes. Twice since 1993. Okay, so 11-1 is your prediction.
That's impressive. Okay. Yeah, 11-1. Look, I think we can beat Ohio State. We just haven't done it in a long time, not only in Columbus, but also at home. Until we do it, it's going to be hard for me to say that it's going to happen. Look, you got it all, as you said. You filled every vacancy in the coaching staff that you needed to fill. I think you have the best offense-defensive coordinator combo that there is out there in college football. You have the veteran quarterback that, he's not going to be a Heisman candidate because he's not going to put up the type of numbers that you need for that, but he is going to be very good, very solid. You got the running backs. The whole offense looks great, and I think the defense is going to take shape very quickly. There's no excuses. It's all out on the table. As I said earlier, there's no juggernaut around college football, and even if there is, it might be us if you're looking around college football at the moment. It's do or die for Penn State. I'll go 11-1. I think that puts us in the Big Ten championship. I'll say I think we get a rematch versus Ohio State. I would be fine if we lose to Ohio State and Columbus and then get them back in the Big Ten championship. That is my prediction. That is what is going to happen. We'll be at Lucas Oil, and Drew Aller, as the kids will say, will get his lick back, and we'll take down Ohio State there, get a bye, probably be 1 or 2 at that point going into the college football playoffs. You'll get a bye first round. Look, I'm going to say we're going to the national championship, and I think we'll win it.
Yeah!
We'll win it.
There you go.
I think we'll win it. I think it'll turn to pandemonium downtown State College. I want to grease the polls. I want to see just, the police come out with shooting people with rubber bullets, and I want fire to be set to the streets of State College. I'm already a townie, but I need to experience something amazing at Penn State. Please, James Franklin, if you're listening, let's go win a couple big ones.
You all think it can't happen? I am 46 years old. I spent my entire life as a Philadelphia sports fan. And somehow, as I sit here today, my Eagles are 2-time champions. I saw some shit along the way, but it can happen to anyone if it can happen to Philadelphia. Kevin, give me a regular season number. Talk to me about the Big Ten championship and what's going to happen in the postseason.
They have the benefit of a salary cap, which Penn State does not. I'm going to say 10-2 playoffs. I'm not going to predict the playoffs. It is impossible. Like I said, we do not know. There could be a Death Star team.
You start following directions, he stops. Okay, I see.
I mean, who knows? Arch Manning could be the best quarterback in the last 10 years. We don't know, right? In which case, well, then Texas will win. I mean, I think Penn State is positioned well to go far in the playoffs. I'm not a national championship bus guy because I don't know. We don't know the teams yet. We don't know the matchups. We don't. It's last year if we didn't make it to where we made it and you lose to SMU or Boise, well, that's a huge disappointment. But maybe you get Texas in the first round or some great team in the first round. If Penn State wins it all, I think it's going to be sort of like a Michigan-type season where they get up on a team and then they just hand the ball off for the whole second half because we know Drew Aller in big games, that sort of doesn't change. 10-2, could be 11-1. I don't see us winning in Columbus. Maybe they do. Penn State was very fortunate last year. They were on the ropes like in Minnesota, USC, Bowling Green. Any one of those goes a different way. And we're talking about this season and even last season totally differently. And it was skill that they won those games ultimately. But you need a lot of luck, too, when you're up against the ropes to make that happen. Yeah. So, I don't know. College football is such a small sample size. And so the narratives get solidified so quickly based on a lot of luck. Penn State needs a lot of luck, just like any national championship team needs a lot of luck. And I hope they get it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 12-0. Let's get a perfect season. Why not? But as of now, I'm going to say 10-2. I think they beat Oregon. I think Oregon ends up having a disappointing year. But, who knows what else you can drop. We'll see.
Big Ten title game. They're going to play for it, and are they going to win?
Same man. I mean, they'll play for it. We'll complain.
Okay. All right.
We'll complain about having to play in it.
Yeah.
Leading up. This could be the year where he should just collude with whatever head coaches on the other team. Be like, hey, this is stupid. Why don't we everyone just play our backups and let's make this what it is. But yeah, play for it. I don't know. Sure, they'll win it. Whatever. I think that they are the best or the second best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Without question. I think there's a big gap. And the betting odds show this, Michael. There's a big gap behind Penn State and Ohio State. You got Oregon, and then you got, I think, Michigan. But they're not, Penn State's like 2-1 to win the Big Ten. And behind them, Oregon's 4-1 and Michigan's 8-1 or something like that. So I think there's a big gap between those first two. Man, if they could pick one out in Columbus, everything would get a little bit more intense, wouldn't it?
Sure would. It'd be on a level we have not seen in a very, very long time.
You would see the tanks, the State College Police tanks downtown.
Yes.
Even though it was an away game, you should get downtown.
Yeah, Mike the Mailman maybe is the only one who has seen it go to that level. Yeah. This is the team. This is the year. We talked about this on the Obligatory PSU podcast, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts. That we didn't do, going back to talk about season 1 of the show, season record predictions. No. And so we didn't start doing a record prediction in the first show of the season until year 2, first year on TV. And that was going into 2017, coming off the Big Ten title. A lot of people were looking at, could this be a team that makes a 14 playoff and wins it all? And I really think it has been since then that I had a chance to credibly, notice I say credibly because you pick us to go undefeated all the time, but it's not credible.
I understand.
I had a chance to credibly pick us to go undefeated. So I texted you guys earlier in the week and I said, I need somebody, please tell me something. Talk me out of 10-2, which is where my head is at. And I just thought, you know what? To hell with it. Who cares what I predict? If you're going to be here at the beginning of the season, what could be one for the ages? Right. Don't be an asshole. Just pick 12-0. And so that's where I'm at. I'm going to do like I did the last time you and I were simpatico, Mike the Mailman.
You said 10-2. I have it on text.
12-0. They're going to win the Big Ten. And I don't care who they play in the playoffs. They're going to find a way to get it done. As Len and Tengwall already told you, Penn State's going to win it all. That's my prediction. Mike the Mailman, take us out.
Well, you guys talk about Penn State always wins games in their favorite, right? I think Penn State's going to be favored in every game this year. I don't care. I mean, Ohio State will probably lose to Texas, and then obviously Penn State will be 5 or 6-0 before they play Ohio State. So Penn State will be a small favorite. And so if they win every game, they're always in favor. They're going to win this. They're going to win them all this year. They'll be 16-0 because you get a bye on the first weekend because they win the Big Ten title. They get a bye. 16-0 is not out of a possibility.
For the first time, Michael, I agree with you. It's not out of the possibility. And the scenario you just described, where Ohio State loses to Texas by like 2 touchdowns, and then we both go in. Penn State goes into Columbus undefeated. Ohio State with 1 loss. Be a pick 'em game. You're right. We don't win those either, though.
I don't think Penn State will win double-digit every game this year. I think they're that good. Like Steve said on the podcast the other night, I've been around a long time to watch all these good Penn State teams win with Joe Paterno having all these like 30-game win streaks or something. I think it's going to happen. This is the year it's going to happen.
I think there is a legitimate chance this time, Mike, that it actually could. And no matter what, we're going to be here with you from Happy Valley Live every week, and we appreciate you being here. If you have somehow been through most or maybe even all of the steps of this idiotic 10-season journey, I cannot tell you how much we appreciate you and question your sanity. If you're a newbie and you're along for the ride the first time, welcome. We'll be happy to have you with us here as we chronicle the 2025 Nittany Lions. Can't wait to get Noble back stateside, but Tengwall, we appreciate you being here. You'll be with us all season long. Thanks, everybody. Go State, beat Nevada. Until we talk to you next, take care of yourselves and each other. Go win the national championship. We are